The year was 2009. Walt Disney had just produced the first musical with a black princess, Tiana. She was a waitress from New Orleans who dreamt of opening her own restaurant. But in the meantime, she worked hard making beignets and singing great tunes. So a friend of mine had texted me one day and she was like, "Girl, make this," and I'm like, "Girl, no." But I didn't even watch the clip. So upon watching the clip, I was like, "Okay, this is cool." So I said, "Okay, great, I'll make it." And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah." So anyways, I went to bed that night and I dreamt about the whole thing. So it came to me in my slumber that I could incorporate this into my channel. So what I hope to do is create or recreate cartoon meals or movie meals, and I hope to do that once a month. So what I'll be doing is at the end, the last Wednesday, because you know I upload on Wednesdays, so the last Wednesday in each month I will have my cartoon or my recreated meal, and I am coining that nostalgic munchings. So I hope y'all enjoy. So in this video we're making beignets. This is not a tutorial, this is me doing something. Back to my not tutorial. Here I'm adding vanilla to coconut milk and water. Then I'm going to add some yeast to my flour mixture and combine that. I am going to add 2 tablespoons of white sugar and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar to my coconut milk mixture. Then going to crack an egg and add that to the mixture as well and whisk. It is now time to incorporate wet and dry ingredients. I'm going to pour everything, all of the wet, into the dry because we have flour left. So in all, I use 3 cups of flour. 1 cup of flour is currently in this bowl that's being saturated. We have now arrived at our 3rd cup of flour, which is being poured in halves because we're trying to form our dough. So you don't want the dough too hard before time. So you just take your time and incorporate all that flour before you add the rest. So now we have a shaggy dough and it's time for arm workout. Now trust me, this looks easy, but you have to do it for 10 to 15 minutes. And child, it is hard work. A joke. It is tedious of a task. So what you want to do is keep folding the dough over on itself and pushing it out. So you're kneading, but because it's not yet together, you're just folding it over itself and pushing it out. And I'm not using my other hand yet because the dough is still very wet, so it's not much to push around. So this is a second flouring of my surface, and I'm going to knead again until the dough comes together nicely. after what I believe to be 10-15 minutes, I am now checking to see if my gluten has formed in my dough. So what you saw me there doing is poking the dough, and if it springs back, then it's basically ready to rest. So you want to roll it in a ball, and what you use is your pinkies to tuck and the rest of your hand to turn. It's important to grease the container just so that the dough doesn't stick to it and then you end up losing dough. So you're going to grease your container, put your dough ball in there, and put the container in a warm place for the dough to rise, preferably your oven whilst it's off. Your dough should have doubled in size, and you're going to punch it down, and then you're going to begin working with it. So punch it down, remove it from the container. Work your dough until it is about a 1/4 inch thick, and then you're going to slice, cut it into the shapes that you wish, and then you're going to allow that to rise once more. I left them to rise just for the amount of time it would have taken to get the oil hot, and if you notice in the next clip, they're a bit fluffier than they are here. So that's what the next rise is for them to puff up a bit more. Please be careful when you're placing the beignets in the pot. My brother startled me, and that is the result of what is to come. You make me almost burn up my style. So I've never had beignets before, therefore I had to consult Google, because I'm like, what is this supposed to taste like? So when I tasted it, I was like, eh. So I googled it, and basically a beignet is like a donut, but it's a less sweet version. So if you don't have honey or powdered sugar, I really don't recommend this because it's just a very bland taste. Tiana serves her beignets with honey and powdered sugar, therefore I am doing the same. My powdered sugar situation is not as graceful as hers, but we move. And this brings us to the end of our first ever nostalgic munchings. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for continuing to support me.